Level up, level up. Never lose, should've had better luck. Tryna see a check, I'm run it up. Yeah, I do a lot, still ain't done enough. Level up, level up. Tryna see a check, I'ma run it up. Yeah, I do a lot, still ain't done enough. Never lose, should've had better luck. I'ma wake 'em up from a slumber. Money ain't nothing but a thing, and the level ain't nothing but a number. Life ain't nothing but a game. Level up, level up. Never lose, should've had better luck. Tryna see a check, I'ma run it up. Yeah, I do a lot, still ain't done enough. I wanna ball. Waking up meant that he gave me a chance and I'm rolling the dice. I do it all. Living like I'm trying to go for the platinum trophy in life. Who can you call? Really nobody, so you should just follow me on your device. And know if she chilling with me, then it's bound to be chemical X and the sugar and spice. Game in the system, but game is the hobby. I'm probably cocky, but hot as wasabi. I mean, if it's beef, then you know where to find me. My niggas is ready and so is my body. You should be running and telling your posse and what's in the speakers and what's in your potty. And she trying to kick it, but this ain't karate. Just keep that shit down while I'm watching Tsunami. I ain't saying I'm a super nerd, but I told you when we got involved, my idea of a perfect date is a PlayStation and some alcohol. I was role playing on GTA. I'm a good guy, but I got it all. If the world should end, be the first to leave, but the last of us acting naughty, dog. Level up, level up. Never lose, should've had better luck. Tryna see a check, I'ma run it up. Yeah, I do a lot, still ain't done enough. Level up, level up. Tryna see a check, I'ma run it up. Yeah, I do a lot, still ain't done enough. Never lose, should've had better luck. I'ma wake 'em up from a slumber. Money ain't nothing but a thing, and the level ain't nothing but a number. Life ain't nothing but a game. Level up, level up. Never lose, should've had better luck. Tryna see a check, I'ma run it up. Yeah, I do a lot, still ain't done enough.
Ooh, retweet.
What's going on, people? Fame Entertainment here from level1gamer.com, and congratulations, you guys are leveled up to 160. This is the Double XP podcast. Listen, we have an incredible, super talented guest with us today. We can't wait to dive in and talk with her about her career, some of the things that she's done before, some of the things that she has coming up. We're going to definitely have a good time tonight, but we're going to start with the introductions. The man with the clamps, Citizen Snips.
What's going on, everybody? Glad to be here on another wonderful Wednesday. We have no disrespect to any of our past guests, but I think we have our most famous voice ever joining us today. So very exciting times. Should be a really good show. I'm looking forward to it. Glad to hang with you guys.
Next up, my right hand, man, my sister from another mister, Slim Hugger. What's going on, sis?
Onita? What's up, everybody? I'm glad to be back here and be weird with you guys. I'm so excited for our guest. And, you know, level 1 is all about being weird, but being yourself. So let's just be weird, be yourselves, and be respectful. Otherwise, I will HR come down on you guys and be disappointed mama hugger.
We've all felt that a couple of times.
Next up. That's not true. No, I have not. That's on you.
D-A-L-L.
True, he's good.
D-A-L-L-A-Z.
Man. God. Every time you got a little winning streak going. Well, this is one because I won the last one, but
you won the last.
We had you a little Undertaker style streak going on, and I can dig it. Look, man, I'm still tripping on Snips talking about he glad to hang out with us for once, and it's like that's crazy. Like I know you in real life, and you ain't never been glad to hang out with me. But whatever, man. Look, I'm chilling, and I'm happy to have somebody on here who eventually is going to be tired of being called Baylor. I'm just ready, man. Let's get
it.
Next
I
up,
mean, if Chadwick can get tired of Wakanda forever, you're gonna get tired of that.
Yeah.
Next up, if your DMs are full, if your emails is full, that's because the homie Baron J67 is trying to get a hold of you, baby. The communications director at LV1gaming.com, Baron J67. What's going on, Chief?
Man, you know, just emailing and DMing, and look at where we at. Look at that! Look at this! The full voice of E! Let me I gotta say this. My mother has never been excited about any of this stuff that I've been doing. But when I told her we got you on, my mom was like, "Oh, that once I got an O." Like, and y'all like, yeah, I was like, dang, wow, not all this stuff I've done. Okay.
Now you tune in.
So thank you. My mother cares about what I. Thank you.
Thank you, Mama.
Right?
Oh, she watching this right now. She ain't said anything.
I hope so. I really hope. She's gonna cuss me out later.
What's
but
up,
it's okay.
Mama Baron?
And then, yes, as you guys can see, our special guest tonight, the voice of E, the global voice of E, the voice of Layla Ellison in the upcoming Redfall. And she's done some previous games for which we're going to talk about. Noveen Crumbie. Please introduce yourself, and we are so happy to have you here today.
Hello, everyone. Thank you guys so much for having me on. This is so much fun already. I'm having a great time. The global voice of E. I've done video games and award shows and different animation shows, and it's been a long time coming. I've been doing it for about 5 years now, I believe. And I've been very lucky in this industry and grateful to have gotten as far as I am now, and I owe credit to a lot of people who've helped me get this far, and it's been such a fun journey. So I'm excited to share my journey with you all.
What I will say off the rip, Noveen, that makes me super excited. I have a 5-year-old daughter, and as she's growing up, I love to show her people that look like her that are very successful in what they're doing as they grow up. And the moment Baron told me like we was getting you on, I went and told my wife, and I went and showed my daughter, and she was asking me who she is, and I was telling her, I was like, and that's like super important because you and my daughter have similar hair, and it's like you're someone else that I can point to and say, look, she looks just like you, same skin tone, same hair, she's very successful. So I just wanted to say that before we got going. That's my little emotional thing I went through. I was like, this was great for anyone, but especially for little black girls, man. And to see people look like them,
big time,
being successful, absolutely huge, absolutely huge.
Thank you. But, of course, she can get here too, of course.
So I do want to say, when we start off, tell us a little bit about you, how you really got into voice acting, and really how your career started.
Gotcha. So I'm originally from the East Coast. I was born in Connecticut. So I was born and raised there, and I went to school in New York City. I went to a performing arts college called AMDA, American Musical and Dramatic Academy. So I went there and I majored in musical theater and did 2 years in New York. Then I transferred here to Los Angeles because they have a second campus here, and did an additional 2 years, and that's when I got my bachelor's degree in fine arts. So after I graduated college, I did little short films around LA, little theater shows, basically anything that I could to kind of build my resume and build a reel to kind of show what I can do. But pretty much all my life, I've had people telling me, you should get into voiceover. You have such a great voice. It's so clear and precise. So my college didn't have that. They just didn't have that kind of course. It was just mainly based on acting, singing, and dancing. So finally, when I graduated, I was like, all right, I really need to get into this voiceover thing. So I found a class in North Hollywood and took that class for about a year. And the teacher was really impressed. My teacher is Jeff Howell. Shout out to him. He's amazing. Jeff Howell. And studied with him for a year. And I got really lucky because he was able to submit me to one of his friends who's the head of a voiceover agency here in West Hollywood. And I ended up signing with them and just been booking ever since for 5 years. And it's been incredible. So like I've said before, I've done award shows, animation shows, different kinds of video games, commercials and promos, and just a lot. So I'm learning a lot. So it's a whirlwind. It's all just coming at me so fast, but I'm keeping up, and I really love what I'm doing.
What a
so
journey.
here at Level 1, we do have two people that work at Level 1 who are aspiring voice actress and actor. If you could give advice to someone who was looking to jump into that career, just off the top of your head, what would you tell that person who's aspiring to be a voice actor or actress?
I know this kind of seems generic, but definitely classes. Because like I said, people have been saying, oh, you're really good at voiceover, you have such a great voice. But in classes, that's where you learn to kind of tone your voice, and you learn specifics and how to use your voice properly for certain video games, which is completely different from commercials and promos. That's where you learn all the terminology. I would say classes is the foundation of it all. And even in classes, like how it happened for me, you could get a voiceover agent from there, or someone could say, oh, I have this person in my class and you should really take a look into them. That's how you also network as well. So definitely classes, just get yourself in the game. But on the side, honestly, reading anything that you see. When I listen to TV and I hear different commercials, I'll kind of repeat out loud how the woman or how the man inflects their voice in different, like McDonald's commercials, or like Pier 1 Imports. Wow, I used to say that when I was younger. Pier 1 Imports, not importance. My mom's gonna laugh at this now.
But it is important.
There you go. Or imports. Wow. Yeah. Pier 1 imports. So basically just saying anything you can and repeating how people do it and just kind of picking it up and learning it from there, because voiceover is basically talking. So you're just learning how to talk.
I think Fame and Dallas, you can agree with this. When we interviewed Danielle Rain, which if you guys don't know, she's mainly a Hollywood actress, but she did the voice for Vetra in Mass Effect Andromeda. She said, be nice to everybody, because you never know who that person is going to be that's going to give you that chance.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
It costs nothing to be nice.
Mm-hmm.
Free.
And just be in your house. You hear that commercial? Oh, O'Reilly's. Just be like
exactly.
A person. Mm-hmm. Be annoying.
I love it.
All she's got to annoy is her 2 cats, though. So
whatever that cat is after, like I want to know what he's like. Something's up there that he or she wants, and I am all for it.
It's so awesome.
They're gonna tear your blinds down, and I can't wait for it.
They're just
It's gonna be
move out.
a little bug just right across the ceiling. They have not taken their eye off of it, so my place is gonna be bug free by the end of the night.
Perfect.
If we get it on stream, like we gotta pop some champagne. We gotta like.
They're gonna need their own Twitter handle pretty soon.
Right? I'm like, they're gonna be the star of the show now. Bayla, who?
If you started an Instagram for them, I'm not saying I would follow it, but I can't help myself. I'm a crazy animal lady.
She would.
Their Instagram is Mocha and Croissant.
Okay.
Is this a real thing?
That hit? Is that real?
Oh, I thought she was playing.
No, that hits. I was like, why is that dope? Like, that's already laid out. Like,
yes.
No, because I was like, hold on. Like, no, that just was too smooth, too ready. Like Mocha and
You see
Croissant.
the face. She was ready. She was like, girl, let me tell you something.
Mocha and Croissant.
I'm on Instagram right now. Y'all are going Instagram Mocha and Croissant.
Oh my gosh, I love
Croissant?
Mocha and Croissant.
Croissant. So I gotta ask, because this is what I like to ask everybody we have. No shade to anybody in the roles. What would be your dream role that you could read for that's already done in a movie, in a TV show, and a video game? No shade to anybody. Just you would like role.
Okay, well, I'm a big Disney person, so I love everything Disney, everything Pixar. So movie-wise, honestly, anything Pixar. I would love, my favorite Pixar movie is Monsters, Inc. So I would love to be one of the monsters and be able to create just a weird, kooky voice for them, and they're just like all like weird and energetic and just like this spunky personality. It'd be so dope. But you would know that she's a black female because she would still have the afro, so she's like a black female kind of monster, which would be cute.
Nice.
You know? Oh, that would be so. I would do that. I would do that. For a TV show,
There's so many TV shows. Like, what genre?
I'm like, what genre would I even go to? I can't think of a TV show off the top of my head, but I think I would want to do something with horror. Something with horror, yes. I think that would be very interesting. Yeah,
you could work with Angela Bassett, the Queen.
Could pick you an American Horror Story. That would be dope.
Oh, especially after Layla. Yeah.
That would be.
Oh, thanks. Did you get
it would be African American Horror Story.
Did I get what?
Your earbuds charged because
you fixed it.
Yeah. I think they're just ready to die. So I'm about to buy some more because now they're working. Like no earbuds are gonna charge in like 3 seconds. There's no fast charge. I don't know why they're working all of a sudden, but I'm not complaining.
Texas heat, man.
Yeah, it sucks out here. Like every day sucks out here.
Y'all just have some hot weather.
Speaking of horror, we know that you did do some voice acting.
She didn't pick her favorite game that she want to be a dream role in.
Oh.
Game. I would say, well,
It could be any game. It could be any role. Even though, like I said, no shade to any actor that's been in your dream role, your dream franchise.
I mean, I think I would say I have like the weirdest answers, but I think I would say Mario Kart. I would love to be part of that franchise, first of all, but also a character that you can play and drive in the game and do different battles with. So honestly, I think I would want to be like a cute little like Toadette, or maybe one of the Yoshis.
Okay.
Or like a Yoshi. Yeah. Like that'd be so like like I think that would be so cute.
That would be dope.
That'd be dope.
With your little amiibo that's like this tall.
Yes. It's like,
and you know, because we short gang, everybody else in here is like 6 foot. That's us
short
in real
gang
life.
over here, 5'1".
5'2", baby.
Oh, y'all little.
Yeah, we work at the Oompa Loompa factory.
We're petite. We're petite.
Man.
We petite but full of fire. You know what they say.
Exactly.
So I did want to ask, since we're talking about video game, and I know you have one of the more anticipated games coming up, but you've done video game voice acting before. I know you did Friday the 13th. How was that? And was that wasn't your first voice acting gig in video games, correct?
Correct. Red Dead Redemption 2 was actually my first video game that I ever booked. Friday the 13th was the second.
Can we pause there for a second? Who just comes out and says, "Yeah, my first video game gig was a Rockstar title"?
Over Rockstar.
Yeah, not about to move on from it. But, you know, Red Dead Redemption 2, some little title out there by some little company called.
You ever heard of Red Dead? Never.
Yeah.
The second one, but you know.
Only the best game of the last
no big deal.
like 10 years. Okay.
Yeah, it still looks great. Still A1 quality looking game. Like, you're not big deal.
Big deal, I know. Like, even if you are somebody that's credited as an additional voice in them, that is still Rockstar is very specific.
Yeah.
And they will. To be on that is amazing. So don't sell yourself short, girl, because that is amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, I couldn't believe I got that when I did. And the funny thing is, when I first got that video game, I remember I was at an audition. My agent called me and was like, "Hey, you just booked a video game. We just want to know if you're going to be okay with the character that you are." And I was like, "Okay, cool. What's the character?" They're like, "You're going to be a whore." I was like, "It's the first video game, yes."
Yeah, I'll be whatever you need me to be.
I was like, I need this job. Yes, exactly. I was like, it's just a video game, so it's all right. So I was like, wow. Well, I booked my first video game then.
You couldn't say no, right? Like you couldn't say no to that. Like the only answer
I was not gonna. I was like, I don't like dress up as her and like be her. It's just voicing her.
No motion capture.
Literally, I was like, my agent's being straightforward right now.
Yeah, you gonna be a hoe? What's up? Was it kind of like the reference to Danielle Rain? Did you go into the interview knowing what game it was for, or did you like not know what you were reading for?
Sometimes they don't tell you what you're auditioning for. So usually they'll have it under a code name, or they just like won't tell you at all, and it'll just be like this blank piece of script, and you just audition for it. So pretty much what I did. That's pretty much what a lot of these voiceover auditions are, because they want to keep it confidential. Sometimes tell you and then make you sign an NDA, and other times like, nah, we don't trust any of y'all. Just audition for this.
I understand.
So do you, like, in your past experiences, was it like once you got the role, you knew what you were voice acting for, or was it like way later?
Way later. It depends on the project too. Red Dead, honestly, I didn't even know that it was Red Dead until it showed up on my IMDb like 2 years later. 2 years later, and I was like, oh, that's what that. Got it. Okay, now I can put it on my resume and what it actually is.
You know what? We shouldn't be surprised because the only reason we found out about one of Resident Evil 8's voice actresses that played, I think she was Cassandra or Bella, she unfortunately passed away. That's how we knew about her. These companies don't care. They will lock you down. But for it to show up on your IMDb and you're like, oh, that's what I was rooting for? That's kind of surprising.
Right? I'm like, okay, cool. Well,
Great.
now I can tell people.
I was in Red Dead.
Like, no big deal.
No big deal.
You know,
Yeah.
my first gig.
Only the biggest game of the generation. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Yeah, Red Dead was first, and then Friday the 13th was the second one. And that one actually got a lot of like hype and anticipation after it came out. When you get these gigs, you don't know how big it's going to be or how small or what the reaction is going to be from people. So when people actually ended up loving it, that was really, really, really awesome. And sometimes I got the game eventually. Well, they gave me the game, but I played with some of the fans online, and I would surprise them and like do the voices, and they would freak out.
Nice.
They were like, "Oh my gosh, is this really her?" I'm like, "Hi guys."
Have you been labeled as like? Because there was some controversy with Friday 13th, and it's turned into a better game. Have you become like the fan favorite? Because we've interviewed a whole bunch of people and talked to some voice actors, and like, oh yeah, I get messages like, you were my favorite part of the game. Have you gotten that? Because you were my favorite part of the Friday the 13th.
Oh, thank you. Yeah,
was a
I
mess,
actually
and I'm
have
just like,
gotten that a lot.
I like her.
I have. I've gotten that. A lot of people will say, I main Vanessa all the time. Vanessa's my main. We love her. Like, I'm like, dope. Yeah. Also, I'm like the token black person. So, like, you gotta love me.
But you're actually not at the same time.
Like, now also, my character's the fastest runner. So everyone's like, I need her to get away from Jason.
They just wanted to make sure you didn't die first.
Yes.
And I appreciate that.
We don't need no Samuel L. Jackson and Deep Blue Sea.
Oh,
I need you to die first.
It's okay
Yeah,
because
please.
LL Cool J survived. They balanced it out.
yeah,
I think we
that
have
They balanced it out.
They did.
I would
But
have switched that around.
Samuel he did an interview. Why did you take that role? Because you're only in it for half. He's like, I specifically wanted that role because they wrote me to die in it. I wasn't going to take the movie otherwise. I'm like, I want that kind of power.
You know, this man probably made more money in that like couple days of shooting he did than everybody else that stuck around for the entire thing.
I mean, it's Samuel L. Jackson.
I believe that.
He
His
almost
own
got to
lightsaber.
swear
I
in a
believe that.
Marvel movie. He almost got
The
to say
man
mother.
created a whole nother lightsaber color just so he could see himself in the big battle. Like, that was the whole reason. Like, that's power.
I did not notice that. Wow.
I do want to. I want to
man.
reference the chat
Nobody
here
else
really
has purple
quick.
saber.
It's lots of I love yous in the chat to you, Noveen. Lots
And
of I love
5
yous.
Oh.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
We've got, such a great smile. No, none for you, Kevin. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Someone said I've been wanting
You're
to
not
get into
special.
voice acting, so this is really good to know when we're talking about the voice acting section.
Oh,
A very interesting
nice.
question that Emmanuel A1 asked. He said, have you ever had the chance to work on any video games with any black developers? Has that opportunity arisen?
Trying to think back. Actually, now that I think about, not that I can think of.
Because there's a very small amount of
Yeah.
black
Yes.
video
Very
game,
small.
directors. Very, very small.
Yeah. I don't think so. Not that I can think of. I mean, the only I would say at least opposite another black person was when I did Creed: Rise to Glory, which is like a virtual reality boxing game. Michael B. Jordan still voiced himself, and I was Tessa Thompson. I voiced Tessa's character.
So you just, no
She
big deal.
glosses over her stuff like,
yeah. Let me just throw it out there. They need a little more information.
like she really
no
glosses
big deal.
over this amazing work. Like, yeah, Michael B. Jordan, but no big deal.
Yeah,
I'm surprised my
I started with Michael
wife
B.
didn't come
Jordan in
running
a
out the
video
room
game.
when
No
I
big
said
deal.
Michael B. Jordan just now. Like, that's a big deal.
It's Tessa Thompson. Like, no big deal. That's it.
Disrespectful.
Just like I aspire when I grow up, I'm gonna be just like you. I want to get to this.
Oh my God.
No big deal.
I'm a very
If I ever
humble
grow up, I
person.
want to be that humble. Yeah.
This
That is
very
so
humble.
awesome, though.
Thank you. Yeah, that would be the only person I could think of in some retrospect like that. Yeah. Like,
So,
yeah.
have you done any movies?
I haven't done any big movies per se.
Yeah.
I have done like USC shorts, I guess you would call them. One of them was actually like both of them was horror, and I was the main character, and it was just me. Again, I'm just killing people, and it's just blood, and it's just sticky, and I was like the behind the scenes pictures of them is me like with like my knife in my hand, like I love this. This is so great. I'm getting credit. Like, can put this in my reel. I love it. Yeah, so I think it would just be those, but it's just something that I just had to do to build up my reel, and I enjoyed it too. I really enjoyed it, and I still have it. It's called Girls Club. So I guess if you Google my name, it's somewhere online. I think
somewhere in there.
Girls
Look
Club.
Notes.
Girls Club. Yes.
So
I'll send it to you guys.
Can I ask you this? So, being Bayla, you are Bayla. How has the reaction? Because I mean, when that trailer for Redfall released, we were like, everyone went right to Layla. Was like, "Yep, she is the show. Like, she is it." How has that reaction been for you with all the love that people are giving Layla? And not even before she spoke, before we heard your voice, people looked at her aesthetic and was like, the hair, perfect, hoops, perfect, everything about her was so. And not understand just to black people, but to everyone, we was like, this is it. How has that reaction been for you with so much love being garnered for Bayla?
It's been very overwhelming, but in a totally positive, great way. I remember I was out with my boyfriend, we were eating, and all of a sudden my phone started blowing up on like Twitter, and I was like, oh, someone probably liked my post or whatever. And then I eventually checked it, and it was when Redfall was like, trailer didn't tell you, but here you go. And then it was just like a lot. There's just like people everywhere, and I was like, wow, this is so great. It's been overwhelming, but I'm so grateful. I'm so humble about it. I'm glad people had that kind of reaction to the video game, because like I said before, you could release a video game and you don't know how people are going to take it, how they're going to react. So it's just from the trailer, I'm like, it's incredible. It's incredible. So I can't wait for it to come out next year. And I'm very humbled to be the person to bring Layla to life as well, because you don't see a lot of Black people or Black females in particular as the leads of video games, the ones that are out there leading the game and that are right front and center. So it's like, finally, we're taking that step forward, and it's such a blessing. It's so great.
Wow.
Dang,
I love that.
Thank you.
No, for real. Because it was.
We don't have that. Yeah.
I mean, once again, you know, I have two daughters. Being able to like,
They're
oh,
little.
daddy, you know, yeah, I do. One's getting ready to turn 5, and then 3.
The other one's turning 50.
50. Yeah. Oh God. You know, she runs this place. But being able to see people, you know, oh, daddy, her hair, like, you know, like it really, you know, Fame already touched on it. It means everything. Representation matters. It's not, you know, it's not just a catchphrase. It's very real.
It is, yeah.
And it's epic. And dude, like I personally think you stole all of the Xbox show. Like your like seriously. It was immediate. Like that's all everybody was talking about.
That's all we talked about.
Yeah, that's it. It took over the whole like. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Well, yeah, I mean. Oh yeah, I did hear it was like right at the end, but I mean, when you don't have that kind of representation out there, and then finally you just put it right on the forefront, just everyone explodes. It's like, oh my gosh, it actually happened. So I definitely understand the hype around it as well. So I'm just grateful to be in that position.
And the hair is so perfect.
It's like perfect. It's curls. It's
yes,
curls.
Yes, and they
which
took
I
time
love.
with each. I was like, dude, looks like she just did a twist out. Like,
And she pricked it out a little bit.
And then did a little bit, you know. I was like, she definitely
The
wear a bonnet when she go to sleep. Like, I love it.
Satin bonnet. She got her satin bonnet on. Mhm.
Every time, I'm telling you, I was like, oh, this is it. And
Because I know
I just love the design was
Mhm.
right, and the design was just so real. Like
Yeah.
it was a very grounded design. It didn't feel over exaggerated. Didn't feel, you know, it was just a good. Yeah, it was just a good design. And then dope ass powers. Like,
Yeah.
I was blown away. And she has, like you said, the hoops too. I'm like, that is Black Girl Magic, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Literally Black Girl Magic.
Yes.
Like she got her makeup on fleek, her eyebrows looking good. That
she said vampires who?
Exactly.
Right? You literally said vampires who because you killed him.
Yeah.
You killed that vampire like it was your well, technically I guess it is your job in there, but
Yo, I love that Lila's comment in the chat. She goes, like, you know, she got a satin bonnet for real. Like,
yeah. Like for real.
For real. Listen, those girls ain't gonna look the same in the morning if you ain't got that satin bonnet on.
Freak girl. Chakalaka, who is one of our main reviewers, who you know maybe might review Redfall. We don't know yet because 2022 is 10,000 years away and COVID. He asked, "Do you think you should have been considered for Nadine in Uncharted 4?"
Ooh.
Oh, I don't know much about Nadine in Uncharted 4. Let me Google that
we love Nadine.
Also,
Nadine.
while we're talking about Nadine, Mocha and Croissant Instagram. I followed. Have you?
Oh,
Drop it.
Oh, because the bug has moved. The kitties. My kitties.
So while we look at that, I do have a question for you in the chat. Interesting from Slow Mo Backslap says, how long do your recording sessions normally go? It's like, is it like mostly done in a big time span? He's like chopped it up throughout multiple months. Like, how long are your recording sessions usually?
It depends on the game. So for Friday the 13th, that went over a period of like 2 years, I think. You would record some here and there, and then would be some like a few months in between before you record again. And it all depends, like if they have notes or if they change this about the character, or if we're gonna re-record this and go this direction. With Redfall, of course, it was the trailer that we did. So that was last year that we did that, and then COVID happened because we were actually supposed to reveal the game at E3 last year. But COVID happened, so we had more time to work on the game, which is great. We can find different improvements in whatever they wanted to do. Yeah. So it honestly just depends on the game. Most games do take a few years. Yeah.
So did you have to record at home? I'm sorry, I got a small delay, Hug. I'm sorry. I wanted to follow up with that. Did you have to record any of that at home because of COVID?
Yeah.
For one video game, I did have to, actually for two of them, I think. We did have to record at home once COVID happened. But before that, most of it was going to their studio, or if the studios were, COVID, like they swept the place. Yeah. They were okay to be able to bring people in with like masks and stuff. But yeah, most of the stuff right now is still all in my studio until other studios can start opening back up.
I will be honest, maybe this is not for the studio and it kind of like puts a damper on things. I'm glad you guys didn't announce last year because you would have never, I don't think the game would have got the recognition it deserves because you would have been competed against Cyberpunk. And at the time we didn't know what Cyberpunk would be. You would have never competed against Cyberpunk. Any game that was released that year did not. The only game that kind of rivaled it was Final Fantasy. Yeah.
And it did come out last year?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
It was a huge So
that was before we knew the hot mess it would turn out to be, but you can't compete with Keanu Reeves coming and announcing your game. I'll be honest. I love Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, that's true. My mom does too, so she's like, Keanu.
I mean, I grew up watching The Matrix and Speed. What else was he in? John Wick. I can't remember. He's done a lot of stuff, but
Speed for sure. Yeah.
Sandra
Point
Bullock's
Break. Oh, yeah.
movie gave
I'm
me
an
anxiety.
FBI agent.
I'm an FBI agent.
So another
So I
really
looked
good
up the
question.
character.
Okay.
Nani?
I was saying, yeah, I looked up the character Nadine from Uncharted 4. What was the question specifically that they had about her?
Like I think it's
let
around
me
lines
go
like,
back.
would you
Hello?
have wanted to do a role?
Should you
like
have been
that?
considered for Nadine? Yeah.
I wouldn't say I should have been considered, but I would be appreciative of the opportunity to be able to voice her. I mean, she herself looks like a badass too, and I love playing badass black female women. I feel like that would have been dope. Also, the hair too, curly. She's got the poof going on.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think a
Dope,
really good
too.
question from one of our writers at LV1Gamer.com, Stray Relay. He says, from what you can share about the story and the lines from the character, do you feel her speech and her isms are given that genuine touch by having you as an actor of color play that role?
Ooh.
That's a very good question. My goodness.
Yeah.
She's like, let me
I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. Let's repeat the question. I'm like, that was a lot.
he
Hold on.
says,
because
from what you can share and the lines for the character that you feel, do you feel that her speech and her isms are given that genuine touch by having you as an actor of color play that role? I guess versus someone who wasn't a person of color,
Gotcha.
actual black woman playing that role.
Oh, okay. I would think so, definitely, because the background of a colored person is very different than the background of a non-colored person growing up, specifically black. The way we grow up, the things that we use in our everyday lives, like white people are, I'm not saying any offense, but you guys don't need satin bonnets.
Yeah.
We need satin bonnets.
I wear a satin bonnet.
He'd be showing up in a show sometime in a satin bonnet.
I was deep conditioning the other day. My wife did my hair on stream. Oh
my gosh, I love that.
Pillow covers, all of that. Yeah.
Life experiences are different.
Exactly. Yeah. So I feel like it's very similar and easy for me to draw how she would say things, how she would feel about things, how she would react to things, and especially just the black girl magic that she has about her and just the fight that she has in the trailer to want to kind of wipe all these vampires away and just, I mean, at the end of the trailer, she did say something about not wanting to pay her student loans back, and that is all me for sure, too. So relatable. My God. So yeah, I would definitely feel like it's I don't know how to explain it, but it's easy to, it's more, there's a word, I can't think of it, but it's just easy for us to relate better and to kind of bring that character out, as opposed to someone who doesn't really know much about the black culture and to kind of derive from that. So yeah.
And this is not a knock to Nadine, or not Nadine, Laura Bailey, who did the voice acting for Nadine. Uncharted 4 came out in 2016, and then Lost Legacy was 2017. It's no shade to Laura Bailey. Laura Bailey is an amazing voice actress. It's just, you can tell when somebody that's grew up like us, voices a role.
Yeah.
I mean, Laura Bailey can do anything, but sometimes you don't need her to do everything. You need her to just do what she does best. And you can bring other people in. You can open the door for other people.
Yes, I'll open the door for other people, yeah. Bring more colors in. Come join us.
Right?
Yeah.
Get your own kind of drink, take your shoes off, we all good to go.
Exactly.
So, are you, I don't know if you can answer this. Are you guys still recording for, are you still currently reading for Redfall?
Not sure if I can answer that.
Understandable.
So I'm gonna play it safe.
So we gonna move
Got it. No, understand. We'll move on.
No,
My bad. I didn't know we was on that.
You good.
But no, it just, this is so dope. Like, it's crazy. I'm hyped. Right? We only seen the trailer. but it's just the representation is there, and
Yes.
Not only representation, it's in a genre that's kind of the vampire game genre is kind of weird because it's very exclusionary, but at the same time exclusive and inclusive. But they don't want to say it because I mean this is like a branch off of Vampire the Masquerade, Blood Rain, Vampire was another game that came out. It's very whitewashed.
usually period.
Not
yeah,
whitewashed.
they're usually
that.
period pieces.
Yeah. I
Very
get that.
Well, Vampire, yeah, set is right after World War One.
Aw.
Vampire the Masquerade is set in like the early 2000s. We need some kind of diversity in the
Yeah, you
vampire
don't
game
see
genre.
black vampires.
No, that
The
was
only one I
dope
can
in
think of is
itself.
Blade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, half the vampire too.
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, she has telekinetic powers, and Remy, she's Latina, and then Devinder, I believe it's Indian or South Asian, and then Jacob is white. So it's like finally there's other people of color. It's not white, and then one black person. So it's
Right, as a
nice to see
DLC.
that. Yes, I see. There's a little bit more diversity in there. It's great. It's so
Speaking
great.
of your fellow voice actresses, were you guys able to have those recording sessions where you're actually visible with each other so you can play off each other, or was it more? Have you guys been more spaced out, individualized because of COVID or whatever the case may be?
It was both. It was both. We did do individual sessions, and then we also did do sessions where we were together. Because it's easier when you can have the other person in the room, and it's easier to just kind of play off of each other. So I think it was once COVID kind of sort of relaxed that we were able to get everyone in the room and try it out together. But we were able to do both, so it was really good to actually see each other in person, which was really, really nice.
Do you guys have like when the game comes out, are we going to see the behind the scenes footage like with Resident Evil 8? Because I love to reference that. That's the newest one where you're in full like mocap gear. I know you didn't do the motion capture, but are they going to have it on your face so they can capture your face? Are we gonna see those kinds of videos?
I don't even remember if anyone took any videos, but I know we did do facial motion capture.
Oh,
That was dope. We all did. So we have just the face, so the camera was like right here, and then it was just like dots
Close
all
for
over our
comfort.
face. Yeah, I was like,
awesome.
what if I have to sneeze? Like, okay, it's going in the game, and
It's going
she's
in
gonna
the game,
sneeze. So we got to do that, but yeah, maybe in the future about the whole behind the scenes thing. But as of right now, don't know. No.
I feel like
There's
Dallas
gonna
is
be a
holding on
video
to something.
that comes out.
I'm looking at Dallas
Say
like
Dallas.
I'm trying to
Say
shove Dallas in here because he holding on to something.
I was just in the corner minding my business. That's all. I was letting y'all have y'all fun before I started being an idiot.
Like, 'cause you and Kevin are just way too quiet. Like, I need to shut up.
Right?
Oh no, y'all
My
good.
cohorts
I
in here.
almost forgot I was on a podcast for a minute and started enjoying the show. I see what everybody in the
He's
show.
always on-
You've been watching it the whole time.
I'm like-
You're like, oh, this is good. This is good.
You know what? Tell me more. Yeah, man.
Oh man, that's great.
But I did want to ask about one thing, because one thing I see voice actors, like people who do voiceover, specifically, work at is range. So what does yours look like?
You mean like the range of like the kind of characters I can do, or like
Yeah.
projects I can do?
Both, yeah.
Oh, okay. Good question. So I have done, I think she's 7 years old. There's a show called Lego Friends, and I voice,
Yes.
I believe she's 7-year-old little girl. And so she has voice. Drea, it's not fair. We can do it. So it's like really like colorful and poppy and children-y. So I've succeeded at that, which I'm very surprised at myself that I can do that, but I surprise myself every day. Yeah, and then other stuff, just normal kind of voice stuff, like with Friday with Vanessa Jones. She's just my normal regular speaking voice, which is pretty awesome. Layla is the same thing, but a little bit more sass. But I also have done projects where my voice has to be a little bit more serious and I have to reach older than I am. So that's when the voice gets a little bit more professional. And then you'll see it on TV. Thanks for watching. Like that kind of like stuff. So it's like, I'm trying here to learn different things, but
she's taking code switching to a whole new level.
Mom just lost it somewhere.
Yeah, whole new level.
Dude, I'm telling you,
Like, why don't they
it's
just
just
like an Alexa voice or something?
yeah, like I aspire
Like, they need to
to
just
code
have
switch to
you
that
go in
level.
and-
I have things to reach for.
Thank you.
It's only like 3,000 lines. You'll be all right.
That serious voice into a whisper, and you immediately got the old lady roles. Like, hey guys, how are you doing? And somehow that's always like the old lady prophet that is going to give you that major quest. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know what it
and
is.
some voices will also, or projects will also ask for different accents that you can do. And for me, that's something personally I'm trying to work on because I will easily switch from like British to like Indian and don't know how I got there, and then it'll like somehow turn into Spanish. So that's something I'm working on. But the funny thing is for Red Dead 2, it had to be a Southern accent. So I was like, okay, let me go on YouTube. Let me just look up Southern accent just to make sure I have it right and I don't like switch into something slowly by the end of the audition. So I watched YouTube, did the audition, and then later on, that's when I booked it. And I was like, huh? YouTube works, okay.
YouTube University.
YouTube,
Yes,
how
So
to
how long
be
did you
a
work at that?
Southern
'Cause, like-
whore.
that seems like something you get on OnlyFans, not YouTube. So.
No, sir.
It sounds like Snip's YouTube channel.
I think that's a
poor
fantastic
Snips.
core. Thank you very much.
He's like, I got the
Okay,
chop.
so like with accents,
Oh my
so
gosh.
I fancy myself a bit of a trickster, a little bit of a joker sometimes, right? And so I would do this thing where I would go all day in like a Nigerian accent and see if people would think I was really Nigerian, right? But now for that, I'm not gonna say it's super great, but I feel like whatever little bit I did kind of came naturally. Whereas like the UK accent, I can't do to save my life. So for you and with accents, like, are you able to pick it up after that first YouTube video, or do you have to like really put your foot in it?
I would say kind of in the middle. Some accents are kind of just easy for me to pick up. Other ones, they'll have specific ways they like cut off T's or like say CH is a certain way. So I have to make sure I change that in every word that has that in the audition piece, or else it won't be believable. So some of them you have to really do your homework, and then other ones, if it's like British, because I did learn Cockney and British when I was in college, and that one just kind of came naturally because I studied that for like 4 years. So
Cockney is one of those accents. It's so ugly, but so beneficial. Because that's what people think is a British accent.
Mm-hmm. And it's two different things.
Very.
Basically. Yeah.
Favorite accent.
My favorite accent.
Because everybody's got a favorite.
Yeah. It would be between the Southern accent, which I know how to do now, and yeah, right? That one. And I guess British, because it just comes so easily now.
It really
It just comes so easily. I'm still learning how to do the New York accent and then Boston accent, because that's so different. My boyfriend's from Boston, so his Boston accent comes in every now and then. He's like, are we going to go to the... Hey, look in the yard. And I'm like, are we going to go to the car? And I'm like...
Cockies.
What?
Cockies.
The car?
Yeah, cockies.
I'm like, oh, you're cute. Okay. Yes, we're going to the car.
You get to where you can't say certain words a certain way because they look at me every time I say aluminium. And I'm like, what you on about?
Extra letters.
Aluminum.
Yeah. Aluminum.
Like, what did she say?
Right, spaghetti word 6 more syllables.
Aluminium?
So
said aluminium.
that's the proper way of pronouncing aluminum.
Hi.
Is it
Aluminum.
really?
Yeah, but I told her we do everything in freedom
after
units.
the end. Where's
Yeah.
the
I
idiom
did
coming
not
Y'all
know
the-
that.
You're
Y'all like
making
We
up
measure in
freedom
freedom units. It's freedom units. Like, so it
Not
just
care about anything.
Aluminium.
aluminium. I was like, did you just make foil sound special?
Baron, you can't lie and
Yeah.
say that's the proper way to
Special
pronounce
edition
Where's the
foil.
aluminium?
Where's the
Where is
aluminium?
it? Get
That's
me the
that high-end
aluminium.
foil.
After-
False
And whenever
information.
After a
somebody is
cookout,
being
I wrap
weird,
my
you go,
plates in
what you on
aluminum
about?
foil.
No. What you on about?
Look at how the word is spelled.
That's also
There's
the
no
world's best
I
way.
after
Yeah.
the N.
We're not
Oh
looking
my
for
gosh.
specific spelling. We're just looking for the way it's pronounced.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
Yes,
Did you know
and
the
how
word,
pronounce
the
words
word,
is based on how they're spelled. That's how language works.
Freedom units. Anyway, what were you saying?
I love this hashtag freedom
My
units.
bad.
I love this.
Freedom units.
It's
I got some
oh
voice
man.
here.
Oh my gosh.
We do things
Saying,
in 3 miles.
the word, you know how you say Tuesday? People will say Tuesday.
Tuesday.
When I learned in school, it's actually Tuesday because it's like music Tuesday. So now every time I do the voice of E, it's like Tuesday through Thursdays. I have to do Tuesday because it sounds so weird saying Tuesday through Thursdays, and I'm like, ugh, that sounds wrong.
Or you
Oh,
can get the British way where it's chew, like YouTube.
YouTube.
And it's like what?
YouTube. YouTube. What? What you on
YouTube.
about? YouTube. Tuesday.
YouTube.
feel like
It's
I'm in
Tuesday.
a lesson class.
Gets in your head and you can't stop saying it.
Yes.
It's ugly.
It's
It's
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday,
Tuesday.
Thursday, Friday,
For real.
Wednesday.
Saturday, and then
Friday.
Sunday,
Sunday.
Sunday.
and then Sunday.
You want some ice cream, you get a Sunday.
That's how I got the rhyme. Solomon Grundy, born on a Monday. That's
Yep.
it.
I love this.
Noveen, I do
Oh
have.
my
I do
God,
want to
that's
ask
great.
you, sort of jumping back to Redfall a bit, like with the again with the reception that you've received, and I'm sure you've gotten lots of love for this character, and I know you. With this, does this make you even more so want to do more video games? Seeing how, because gamers will either love you or hate you. There's no in between with gamers. Like,
Yeah.
as bad as
Yeah.
that sounds, and you got the love part, right? So does that make you even
Yeah.
more so want to do more of these type of roles or more video game roles in your career moving forward?
Well, absolutely. I love doing video games, and I do play video games myself. I have a Nintendo Switch, so it's mainly like Mario Kart and racing car games and all that stuff. But I love doing video games. I would love to continue doing that. It kind of does feel like I'm on some kind of horror genre roots with the games that I'm booking, so I'm not opposed to that. I love it. But I definitely love doing video games because people can play it all over the world. My brother plays it. My boyfriend and his buddies play it. All my friends play it. So I think it's really awesome. And the thing with doing video games, like you said before, the fans out there will either love it or hate it. It's like they're actually giving you like a realistic feedback of the game. They will not hold back. They will tell you like, we love this character. She should have been this, or we love that she can do that. Like they dive deep into the game. And that's a realistic response of the game that they like, either like how you created it or what they think should be different about it. And I feel like it's constructive criticism at the same time because that helps you improve on your character and what your part was for the game as well. So I appreciate it. Whether it's love or hate from the game, I appreciate both.
Without necessarily, of course, saying the name of anything, but are you currently
See, you hang around me too
voicing
much.
or working on any other games at the moment? Jesus, are you working on anything else at the moment? Of course, you don't have to say what it is. So I'm sure you can't. But are you working on anything else at the moment? Anything else game wise?
I have 2 other games that I'm working on. One of them I did full mocap for.
Whoa!
That one
Hello.
will take years. I don't know when that'll come
You'll
out.
never
It'll show up on
see
my IMDb, so we'll see. We'll see. We'll see with that one. And then
No big
another
deal.
one, yeah, another one that's coming out as well. Yeah. So 2 of them. So I'm excited for
love how
them to
humble
come
she
forward
is.
whenever
Yeah,
they do.
see it.
Right?
So this means you can come back and talk with us again, yeah? Like
Oh, I would love to. This is so fun. I would love
Some
to.
nonsense.
Yes. Talk
And
more
I'm-
about speech.
Yes, and we
I'm
can
gonna do
really
an
we can
accent
really
next
grill
time.
you about Redfall after it comes out and you're working on your next project.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Got it.
Yep.
Like,
This is fun.
legitimately, next time I'm gonna try my best to have an accent that's not like Southern horror.
Southern horror is the best of them.
If it's Nigerian horror, that's fine.
I need. I'm gonna. When when we talk level 1 before, like, yeah, we also talked to the voice actors of a Southern whore. That was a thing that happened in our lifetime. Like,
Right?
Have you ever wanted to be a Southern whore? Let me point you in this direction.
Oh my gosh, for real. I was like, lovely. Love to put this on my resume.
Right?
Just look at the Red Dead part and the rock star part, not the character part.
Wait, so it really does just outright say, like, that's the character's
It
name?
says additional voices on IMDb, thankfully.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
Because
People ask, they're like, oh, what did you do? And I'm like, I'm an additional
I'm on your
voice.
IMDb right now. It says the local prostitute.
No.
Pedestrian!
No, 'cause now that I know you were the whore, it's the local prostitute. But yeah, it does say the local pedestrian.
Oh, because I went to go look for
God,
that. I
yeah.
was gonna put that in the chat.
IMDb would not allow that. They're
Oh,
like,
yeah.
"It's a
No,
image."
they'd be like, nah, girl, you local.
But
That's
we
it.
all know the truth.
Like,
We know
over
what's
there.
going on.
I was like,
really-
this is a crazy way.
I
I
really
mean,
wanted
it's
to
just
find. I
small
hope it
things.
said that.
No, it's local pedestrian.
He's looking. He's looking.
I was really looking
But
for
now
it.
my
Like,
brain-
oh my God.
My brain won't not put local prostitute. Like, I know her. That's a local prostitute. Excuse me. It's not a sign of disrespect. It's just a thing, you know?
Like, you had to
I
be
gotta
there.
You had to be there. You had to be there. I was like, this is a great way to enter the the video game world. The voiceover.
There's worse things you
It's
could do.
great.
For those who are in the chat,
way worse.
keeping in mind certain things.
nice.
You guys have any more questions? Anything you guys would like for us to ask? Please let us know as we start to get towards the end of the show. We love to interact with you guys and engage with you guys. So if there's anything else, I know we probably missed a few things as I begin to scroll backwards. I don't know if you guys. Oh, by the way, someone said they did love your smile, Kevin. Straight relay earlier when you said, "What about mine?" Yeah, someone does.
Look, he's trying to hold back. Just let it go. Let it rip like Beyblades. Go ahead,
Come on,
smile.
let it rip like a
Do
chicken
snap.
The thing
Do
is,
snap.
I'm impressed by Stray. I know him in real life, and that question he asked earlier is like the smartest I've ever heard him sound in like the 15 years I've known this man.
Damn.
So I'm still trying to recover from that. He really showed up today. I got to give him some credit.
Okay.
Oh my
High
god.
five.
Stray, we love you.
So,
Sarange.
Delilah HD, shout out to her. She's been in the chat throughout the show. You narrated Amend on Netflix.
Yes, I did. So for Netflix, I was the audio descriptor. So the audio descriptor is basically for someone who is hard of hearing or deaf. So I basically describe what's going on in the scene itself. So I would say he takes a sip of water. Streets are filled with people as we close in on an American flag. Da 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 da. So it's like the in between, describing what's happening in the scene as if you just like kind of blocked your ears, then you could hear what's happening. And I did that for Amend. I did that for Death to 2020, also Netflix, and another project for Netflix as well. I did 3 of them for them.
How hardcore do you go with that though? Because like with subtitles, sometimes they get pretty ridiculous. Like it'll be like fanciful jazz contemporary music, and I'm like, I'm hearing it, and I don't know what the hell that is. Like, how are you making this up? You're just cheating. Like this can't be real.
Right? It's pretty just straight. They gave me the easy stuff. Thank gosh. It was pretty just straightforward. Just description of what's happening. It wasn't too crazy. Only when it got to the credits. So if you fast forward to the credits, and I have to say like who was written by, executive producer, writer, and they're like, get it in 15 seconds, go. And I'm like,
No.
Speed read.
and then finally, yeah, it's insane. It's insane. Which I found out that I have a very good talent at speaking fast, which I was like, I can use this to my advantage. And I recently booked a McDonald's radio commercial, and the legal at the end where it was like, participation may vary. I did that, and then when people heard it, they were like, oh my gosh, they had to speed that up. And I was like, no. That was my second take, and they took it.
Whoa.
Oh my god.
I was like, wow, I impressed myself.
Okay, well, do something for me then. Say, Say nowadays everybody want to talk like they got something to say when it comes out. Do that.
Hey, man. What's your
100
voice
start
acting
rapping.
rate?
What? Yeah, I was like,
Say,
Just like,
nowadays
I don't think
everybody
you
want
can
to
afford
talk.
me.
I can be like,
I don't do no free rolls.
no, like,
Hey, so,
prices
I'm a
and
busy
participation
woman.
vary. Limited time only cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal. Minute Maid is a registered trademark of the Coca-Cola Company.
Whoa.
She's the lady that when you take the medication at the end, they're like, you may have erectile dysfunction,
please,
but you don't
please
hear.
tell me you've done one of those medical commercials.
I haven't yet. I haven't. You may die, but take it anyways and check with your doctor.
You're not gonna be able
Like,
to get through that with a straight face.
It's
Guaranteed.
either keep your headache or have a chance of cancer, lung failure. Like,
Yeah.
I just want to get rid of this headache,
what's-
Karen.
Right.
Like,
That is
Like,
like,
why is this lady so happy about these side effects in this damn commercial?
The newest one
Right.
that,
like, that's how they trick you.
Zantac 75.
Oh,
You were just trying to
God.
get rid of your heartburn for a few years, and now they say you probably have cancer from it. Oh, so I probably should have dealt with the heartburn, I guess.
so,
ooh, have
we
you done
got one more.
infomercials?
I'm no. Trying to think. I
Ask
did
me
one
on
that kind
TV.
of feels like one kind of seems like an infomercial, but it's just a really long commercial. And it was for Queen V, which is a feminine product that I had to do. And I gotta send you guys the commercial for it. It's so raunchy. It's like raunchy, which is so funny. And they're like,
Anytime you
this
talk
is your
about-
peachy clean? Is your peachy not clean? Yes, we're talking about vaginas. Like, it's just straightforward to the point. And I'm like, I love voiceover.
I have a vagine, and sometimes I don't want to hear it described to me. I'm just like, people that do those roles, I praise you because I'm like, it's a weird thing. I don't want to hear it described, and when you describe it, it's even worse.
It was such a crazy project, but it was fun doing it. It's someone's got to do it, so
Somebody does have to do it.
yeah.
So it looks like we have one more question for you from the chat. Someone wanted to ask you, how do you get inspired, like, for roles? That's something you normally watch, something you listen to. Like, what gets you going as you're getting ready to voice act a role?
Normally for projects, I'm a very emotional person, so it's easy for me to pull my emotions out. I'm able to cry on command. So I use real life situations that have happened in my life that help me draw closer to the character. So whether it's like the character's dying or it's a very intense scene, I usually draw from that. To cry on commands, the one thing that I use, I have one sibling, my brother, and he's the only sibling I have in my life. So it's gonna be very dark, but I just think of him as someone just told me, your brother's gone. He's passed away. And instantly I can just start crying. And it's worked every time. And that's something I don't enjoy going to because it's not something you want to think about, but it's something that easily gets me in that mindset. For another thing that kind of draws me into my characters, I don't watch things. That doesn't really help me. If anything, that distracts me. Watching or listening to any kind of music, that usually distracts me. So for me, when I'm in the studio and I'm recording, I usually take my shoes off. I do have socks on, don't worry. I have to take my shoes off because it helps me feel grounded. It helps.
First person I've heard do that.
Yeah, I don't know.
They clean the floors like they do at my job. You don't want to touch that with your bare feet.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I have to take my shoes off because it helps me feel grounded. Feeling the actual floor beneath my feet just makes me feel vulnerable. And I don't like feeling too comfortable in a recording booth because then I feel like that kind of falls into becoming lazy. And I don't want to become lazy. I don't want to become too comfortable. I'm in a space that I'm not normally in. So to kind of just be vulnerable and out there, that's when like the best things come out of you for me. So definitely just letting go and just being vulnerable in the space.
That makes sense.
So
Yeah, maybe the only
were
person who
supposed
does
to
that.
tell you this. We were supposed to tell you this earlier, and we didn't, so we apologize. Toward the end of the show, we always like to give suggestions to people on something they should watch and or play. So we'd like to tell people at the beginning of the show, hey, at the end of the show, think of something that maybe you watched recently, something that's older that you would suggest for someone to watch.
We forgot.
Okay? So we forgot. So I'm going to give you some time to think on that, and I'm going to circle around and come back to you. So I want to start with my brother Dallas. Dallas, something for the people to watch and or play for this week.
Man, I haven't said this yet because I wasn't caught up, and I've been meaning to say this over the last couple weeks, but watch Loki. You don't need no explanation. Just go watch it. You already know what it is. If you hear MCU, you know what the deal is, and you know it's worth it. Go watch Loki. Also, let me see. I've also said this 1,000 times, but you need to go watch it anyway. Go watch Yu Yu Hakusho. And I'm probably only saying that because I haven't really been watching anime lately. Like, people been suggesting so much stuff to me, and I haven't really been checking it out. But what never gets old and is always fire is Yu Yu Hakusho, so go watch that. And I think that's it.
All right, Citizen Snips, what do you suggest for the people this week?
So as far as things I've been playing that are new, the only thing I tried recently is I tried to give Crusader Kings 3 a shot. It was on Game Pass. One of my buddies brought it up. And I've been kind of in a map strategy kind of game mood, so I gave that a shot. Not for me. A little too menu heavy. It is what they call a grand strategy game. So you'll be tabbing through a lot of menus, clicking text and doing things like that. I prefer a more interactive in-game experience. So it wasn't my thing, but it seemed like for that style of game, it is very well made, and my one buddy's loving the heck out of it. So if grand strategy is your kind of thing, you like the real intricate details of, like planning out your whole lineage and making alliances and all that kind of stuff with them, I would check out Crusader Kings 3. As far as something to watch, I did go see A Quiet Place 2 in theaters this past weekend. Good sequel to the first movie. I won't say, I don't think it really threw any kind of curveballs for stuff I wasn't really expecting. But it does pan out the story nicely. It does follow through well. I don't know if there will be a third one. It seems like they kind of sort of brought it to what could be a resolution. But you know how Hollywood is. If there's an opportunity to make money and they don't have any other ideas, they'll make 7 of them. So, but definitely I would go see it. It's nice to be back in theaters again. So that was a good movie to see. And then anime-wise, I already told you guys what I'm watching. It's too much. I watch like 87 shows at the same time, so you don't want to hear all the stuff I've been going through. But yeah, that's about it for me.
All right, we got different moms and different dads, but we're still blood related. Sis, what you got this week?
We are, man, we're so close that we might as well be siblings. You guys know I like to give you a bigger title and an indie title. So the bigger title is, since it was the second game was announced at E3, River City Girls. If you like Battle Chef Brigade and like Lollipop Chainsaw with Mother Russia Bleeds, you're gonna love River City Girls. And for the bigger title, it's on Game Preview on Game Pass. It's Medieval Dynasty. If you love oh my god, Kingdom Come Deliverance, you're gonna kind of like that. It's more of a builder, Minecraft-y, or like, what is that game that came out? Valheim. It's more like that. For shows, since the trailer just dropped today, or for movies, since the trailer just dropped today, go watch the original Candyman. Because that game, or that movie,
still scares
terrified me. 1992,
Whoa.
terrified me.
Sounds
Still scared
good.
of mirrors.
So good. And the trailer just dropped today. Jordan Peele is a screenwriter. I hope Tony Todd who is the original Candyman, makes a cameo. And for shows, I'm going to throw an off-the-wall one. It's Line of Duty. It's a British procedural drama. So if you like Midsommar or like Vera or stuff like that, you're going to love it. That's all I got for you this week.
All right, Baron Jones, who was born in 1967.
Government. No, but go watch Wrath of Men. Movie came out, I want to say a couple weeks ago or maybe last month. Great movie. Jason Statham and Guy Ritchie movies. I'm a sucker for them. They really did a good job of turning an action movie into like a deep story. Like, usually action movies kind of fall short of that. It's just like, shoot 'em up. But no, he did a really good job with that one. And video game wise, Well, Outriders.
Outriders.
There was an update. For Outriders, so now it's easier to get more legendaries. So your time is valued a little bit more.
Avengers, so.
Just go outright. Yeah, you can meet me on Enoch. Enoch needs all the help he can get, guys. So feel free to.
You gotta stop shackling this man to Outriders so that he can experience other things.
No,
and
Baron will play Outriders until I am done. I'm tired of this, Grandpa. But that's too damn bad. He gonna play this game with me.
You keep digging a deeper hole, and you just grab hold of Baron and pull him down with you.
I'm like, Baron, what are you doing? He's like, we're like playing Battlefield. I'm like, no, you're not. We outride.
I'm glad it's not on PC.
Okay, there's no war in Ba Sing Se.
Baron, you can just ignore Fame's call. You can just do that.
No,
then I'm gonna call his cell phone. I'm just gonna keep on going.
Yeah.
Then you
there's no crunch here at level 1.
Call.
There's no crunch here at level 1.
Oh my god.
So we've made full circle,
it.
and we're back to you, Bayla. What would you prefer, or what would you suggest for people to watch this upcoming week or this week? What do you suggest?
Well, right now it's number 8 on Netflix. It was higher up earlier, but right now they're on season 2, and it's called Black Summer. And basically, it's a world where like people start turning into zombies, but it's more of like, it's not like your typical like, oh my god, zombies, God, run. It's like very action packed, which I appreciate, and it's not so much like just making fun of the whole zombie apocalypse thing. But I think it's really, really good. I saw season 1 already, and I just noticed that there's a season 2, so I'm about to start watching that right after this. But I would definitely check out Black Summer on Netflix. Another one on Netflix is Rim of the World. So Rim of the World is kind of the end of the world kind of thing, but it's from the point of view of 4 kids. And when I tell you, this thing is so funny. These kids, like it's like rated R. Like they just swear and stuff. It's the funniest thing. And there's this black kid in it. I don't know his name, but he is so funny. Jr. There you go.
I think
so funny. The characters in it, it's like you have the one character where it's like the shy like one boy, and then you have like the black kid who's like, oh, what's up, girl? How you going? Oh, like it's funny stuff. I don't know how to explain it, but you guys gotta watch it. It's called Rim of the World on Netflix.
Rim of the World.
Rim of the World. I'm so bad at descriptions, but and then the other thing, which has been all over TV, is called In the Heights. It's a musical. I went to school for musical theater, so I love it. And the first musical I actually saw at Broadway is In the Heights when it was on Broadway.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, I know the original, and then now it's made into a movie by the same person, Lin-Manuel Miranda, and all the music is the same, but it's so uplifting, and it's so fun, and it's putting like the Latina or Latino Spanish community out there, and it's just, I think it's exciting and it's fun, and it's on HBO Max. If you guys have HBO Max, it's free right now, and I think it's out in theaters already. But yeah, I think that's super, super fun and exciting if you like musicals and like singing along and all that. So yeah.
I gotta ask, because I'm a musical nerd, before we end the show, what's your favorite musical?
And why is it Little Shop of Horrors?
And not opera. Opera is...
Wow, Baron.
And why is it Little Shop of Horrors? Say it.
It's not.
Oh my god, you are so quick with that.
He's quick.
Oh
Phantom of the
my
Opera,
God.
Baron, and I'll fight you any day.
No, Little Shop of Horrors.
Or even Jekyll and Hyde, if I have to choose another one that's not.
Well, those are
I
classics,
love
though.
it.
That's not fair.
Yeah, but you didn't. I said,
Musicals
what's your
cause me
favorite?
pain.
He's
That's
in the
a
corner
you
just
problem,
like,
not a me problem.
It hurt.
But what
Okay,
is
I'll
your
be
favorite
quiet.
musical?
my favorite musical, obviously, it's In the Heights, because that was the first one I watched, the first one I fell in love with. The second one, which is a very close second, is the Book of Mormon. If you love South Park, if you love South Park, you love that kind of humor and Family Guy, Book of Mormon will have you on the floor the entire show.
Yep.
So good. So good. Oh my gosh. I'm just like, you guys need to come back.
I really am. I'm a dig. Yeah, solid.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
I'm
have
like
one
two
suggestion.
spectrums.
And you guys should go watch it. Luca. It's on Disney Plus. If you get an opportunity, really
Yes.
good. I'm not gonna lie. At the end, I was watching it with my daughter, and the ending was sad, and I was fine. Like, it's a movie. And she goes, "I need someone to hold me." I started crying. I'm like, "Yeah, this is kind of sad. Come on, baby." But go check out Luca. Really, really good. Hit you in the fields at the end. Really, really good story. Really, really good teaching lessons. Really, really good. So check it out if you have Disney Plus. Worth the watch.
Yeah. Oh, I for sure do. So I'm definitely gonna see it.
Listen,
I'm not
Noveen,
gonna
this
cry,
has been amazing. Like, I'm
Thank
going to start
you.
counting down the days until I have Baron bug you again, and we can either come back.
Yes, I would love to.
We
This
were
was
super
so
excited when you agreed to come on and talk with us. And we're even more happy now that we finally got to meet you and speak with you and kind of pick your brain a little bit. So it's been great. And hopefully after Redfall and before your next couple of projects, we can get you to come back.
Of course.
Really
Yeah,
deep
this
dive
was
into
so
your
fun.
role.
Hey, thank you. Yeah, this was a lot of fun. You guys are hilarious. So
Okay.
I'm
We
glad
were
you
good
guys hit
today.
me up. This was so fun.
Yeah, we were
We
trying to
were
be
good
tame.
today.
We go off the.
We took
You
it
know,
down
you're
to...
the global.
today. It wasn't it's crazy.
I mean, you're the global voice of E. Like, come on.
We took it down to Y7. We took it down to
In the
Y7.
description, but where can people find you? And I'm including Mocha and Chrisan in that. Where can they find you?
So you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Noveen Crumbie. It's made it easy for everyone at Noveen Crumbie. And Mocha and Croissant on Instagram as well at Mocha and Croissant.
I was scrolling through earlier. It's adorable. Thank
I
you.
was going to bring one of them here. They're
No,
somewhere.
they're catching that bug.
Yeah, they are. They are.
Thank you
Yes.
for joining us
We
tonight.
are
Thank
going
you.
to...
Amazing.
We're going to end the stream. We were so thankful for everybody who came out and hung out with us, for those who posed questions, for those who hit that like button. I will be making sure that everything Noveen is in the description down below, including her IMDb. So you can go and see, yes, she really was a Southern whore in Red Dead Redemption 2. With all of that said, we do shows on Monday, Tuesday. Monday, 15 Minutes of Fame. Tuesday, Cogs of Machine. Today, of course, Double XP. Thursday is Take Two Podcast. Friday is Peep Game. Saturday is Ready Press Play. And on Sunday, the Lord's Day, we rest. Again, with all of that said, congratulations. You guys leveled up to 160. This was the Double XP Podcast. We will see you guys next Wednesday. #Bayla. Later.
Parang